Hey everyone, and welcome to day 2 of the 1-hour Vibe Coder course by me, Kobe Omanaka. This is the course where I'm going to go through how to vibe code from scratch, 1 hour maximum per episode. Yesterday I set up the infrastructure, the systems we're going to use in Claude Code and Cursor. So if you haven't seen that and you don't know how to do that, then go to the previous video. But this one we're going to take it a step further. Now we have the infrastructure, now we have the setup as we want to on the computer. We're going to actually try and make something with it. A tiny tool, a small tool, a micro tool that will just sit on the computer and do something, well, something. Okay, so let's head to the plan for today. First of all, so here we are is the 1 hour Vibe Coder day 2, and just going to run you through what we're going to do in this course, in this session today. But first of all, we need to get the timer started. Timer starts now. Alrighty. So what we're doing today, going to build a very simple tool that will just sit on a computer. This is the plan anyway. I've not built this yet. This is my plan. Hopefully it's a simple one. Hopefully it takes less than an hour. It will print out a greeting, today's date and the current time. And this will just give us our first end-to-end working app, if you want to call it that. And the idea is that we just get this up and running now. And then over the course of the next few episodes, we add some features to it. Maybe pull some live data in from a service using their API. I'll talk about that later on in another episode of what I plan to do. Maybe make it look better than just a text output. Yeah, let's just see where we go with it, basically. But this will be the foundation for building up bigger tools. And if we understand this and understand how to set up the folders, using more Claude Code and Cursor a bit more, and this just helps me to get in the headspace of what we're actually doing going forward, and hopefully helping you guys as well with your headspace with this journey that we're on together. Okay, so one thing I was trying to reconcile in my head is there's many different types of coding tools, called coding languages: Python, Ruby, JavaScript, HTML, all these different things. As you can tell by the way I said all these different things, there are lots of different things. I don't really know how they work. I used to, when I was at university 20 odd years ago, we had to learn how to code in a language called Fortran, which is now kind of defunct. But was quite a big thing back in the kind of aeronautics and aerospace days. But the tools just essentially, these different coding platforms, these different languages essentially help us talk to the computer in very structured ways. We can use a variety of different tools, but from what my research shows is that it's probably easiest to get started with JavaScript. JavaScript is one of the main web languages as alongside HTML and CSS. Those basically help your websites perform in the way that we are used to now after 20 odd years. JavaScript is a bit fancier and helps us action things. So when you press a button, I think JavaScript is behind that kind of side of things. So it gives us a bit more action within the websites. The reason we need this thing called Node is because JavaScript is something that's native and works happily within our browsers, such as Chrome, such as Netscape Navigator. But JavaScript isn't something that our computer would understand by itself. So in the last episode, we downloaded Node, and I used that to help me install Claude Code. But I also installed it because I knew that we'd be needing it for other things. And that's why I went down that route of installing Claude Code using the Node.js, which I downloaded. But we're also going to use it in this episode as well. So I'm going to understand how to manage the project folder. Every time we create a tool, we need to understand where we're creating it on a computer or where we're creating it online. So this is something I need to get into my head because it's a bit amorphous. So hopefully this lesson will help me to do that and help me to understand that. And also, since the last episode, I was trying to think, why am I using Cursor and Claude Code? And why am I going to use one versus the other? And what about all the other tools out there? So we're going to come back to this in a second because I'm going to maybe figure it out in my head as I'm working through. But let's go to Cursor. In fact, no, let's jump back here in a second. The way in my head I'm going to use Cursor versus Claude Code is, and I did highlight it here, but Cursor is where I think I'm going to be doing the majority of the building of the tool, whereas Claude Code is where I'll probably be asking a few more questions about, hey, what the hell is this? Now, from what I understand, both of them can do the task. So I will be flip-flopping. And over the course of these next 30 days, I'll probably solidify my process a bit more. But at this moment, I just want to be a bit open and understand. Because when I watch a lot of these videos, the experts suddenly say, hey, Claude Code is the best. Or someone else says, no, Cursor 2.1 is the best. I don't know enough to know which is better. So I'm kind of working with both and seeing which would be best for my scenario and for marketers going forward. So let's go to Cursor to start off with. So as I said, we want to know where we're going to be creating all the documents. This is where I left off yesterday. And I'm just going to go to a new chat. This is the terminal. This is Claude Code. As you scroll up, here's a Claude Code widgets and doohickeys. Can I just type clear? Yeah. How do I clear the terminal? There's so many people who know how to code are looking at me going, oh, who is this idiot? I did type clear and press enter. Okay. Or use, let's try clear, enter. Okay. Terminal is now clear and ready for my next command. Lovely. Okay, so which directory are we in? Which folder are we in? And I'm going to ask the same question of Cursor, which is this doohickey here. Going to go to the plan mode. So I'm using less tokens and it's in a kind of different mindset for thinking. Which are you in? So it's saying here, okay, cool. So Claude Code in the terminal is in the 1 hour vibe coder. It's in development / 1 hour vibe coder / project 1, whereas Cursor is in development / Cursor MCP. So I'm going to say, can you navigate? I'm going to have to speak this because I can speak way better than I can type. Can you navigate, please, to the development folder? Okay, change current nav working directory to the development folder. Now just ask it, what can you navigate to the 1 hour vibe coder? Can you navigate to the 1 hour vibe coder folder? Let's see if it. There's a spelling mistake there. I wonder if it understands that. Nope. Let's change that to coder. Oh, so what's happened? It hasn't actually gone to the folder I asked it to go to. What folder directory are you in at the moment? Okay, so it's still in development Cursor MCP. Please, can you go to the development folder? Just let's go here. Okay, so it's now asked me what it wants me to do in there. Can you see the 1 hour vibe coder? Can you see the 1 hour vibe coder folder? Full stop. If you can see it, open it and navigate yourself into it. So it's still asking me at the moment to check each time. I'm just gonna not let it just automatically go to the next thing. Okay. Do I then navigate into it? Sure. Found and explored the 1 hour vibe coder folder. Current structure, project 1. Which has a Claude.md markdown file in it. So we are all now, I know it's been a bit torturous to get here, but everyone going back to the using the graphical interface, we are all in this folder, the 1 hour vibe code folder, which has project 1 in it. And I'm in it now using this window. Cursor is in it via this chat pane. And also we have via the terminal, it's all in there. So here we can create a new project, which we're going to call Daily Starter. I think I called it Daily Starter. So let's create a project here. So there's a few different ways we can actually create the folder. One is the easiest way that people know, which is to right click and create Daily Starter. So actually terminal's actually in project 1 folder itself. So I'm going to ask it to please go up 1 directory. So now it's in the development 1 hour vibe coder folder. Okay, what can you see here? There's no code in the world that says what can you see here. Can you see here? So you can see daily starter, a directory, and project 1 directory we just created with the Claude MD file. So I'm going to ask, what can you see? What can you see in this directory? Why has it gone back to this project? How irritating. It's gone back to the MCP project folder. I don't know why it's done that. If anyone knows why it's done that, please let me know. Okay, so please navigate to, okay, so it's found a directory. What would you like me to do in this directory, for example? Okay, so go into the daily starter folder and create the claude.md file. Okay, so when we do this, I'm going to go into the daily starter folder, and as you can see, there's nothing here. And then when I press build, it's just come up with a little note. Creating Claude.md in the daily starter folder using a template similar to the Claude.md, existing Claude.md, but adapted for daily starter. Accept. And there we go. It's all created, and that's all good. So just as a reminder, going back to here, I'll add a note here. But the Claude Markdown file, Claude.md, is a file that helps Claude Code understand generally what's going on here. We don't need it, from what I understand, if we're using Cursor specifically. But as I will be going back and forth between Claude Code and Cursor, I think it's right just to set it at the start with the kind of best practices, and I'll update it, or we'll ask it to be updated every now and again whilst I'm building out any single tool in general. So it's just something that helps Claude Code sort itself out and keep everything in place. So it's there now, and we can see it according to here, and there within Finder, it's there. And then I'll just do one last check. I'll ask Claude Code via the terminal, what can you see here? Inside, oh no, sorry. Please can you navigate into the daily starter folder and tell me what you can see there? It's time to think. I can see one file, Claude.md. Okay, I'm not going to do this every single time. Oh, something came up with my recording there. So I'm not going to do this now again. So I've shown you that within the terminal, within Claude Code, you can navigate to a folder and create a file in there and check what's in there. And I've shown you within the chat pane in Cursor, you can do that. And also, most people will know, I'm not going to presume anything, that you can go into the Finder system and create files and everything using your mouse and your keyboard. So all these three things are kind of tied together, and you can use them interchangeably as you want. Cool. So that's that bit sorted. That's a bit clear in my head, and that means that I just know things are happening when I work within Cursor or Claude Code, that it is happening in real time in the Finder structure in the folder directory on my computer. Right, so I'm going to go to actually try and build something. And to try and build something, I'm going to go to plan mode first. Review. Yep, keep Claude.md. So going back to plan mode. Now I'm going to start the build of the tiny tool, which is going to be called Daily Starter. Why not? I have already prepared a prompt, which I thought about before whilst I was thinking about this session today. And you guys can go ahead and grab the prompt. The reason I made the prompt is because I know I am terrible at typing. So the prompt is: plan a simple tool called Daily Starter. It should print a greeting, today's date, and the current time. Keep everything beginner friendly, list the files we need, and explain the structure clearly. Include a Claude.md file as project memory. Do not write any code yet. So I went through the route of creating Claude.md, but I've already asked it in this prompt. So what I'm going to do now is going to delete that Claude.md to show you can do via the Finder. But it's been, I don't know why it wouldn't let me just delete. So when we finish this step, it should have Claude MD, and it'll also give me an outline of what it thinks it needs and why. So press return, which is nice. Which programming language would you like to use for the Daily Starter tool? Thank you for asking. No one asked me stuff, so thank you so much for asking. I'm going to go with as I talked about before, JavaScript. We also have Python here, but we're going to leave Python for some other time. But let's carry on with JavaScript, Node.js. Okay, let's see the plan. Oh, is this the plan here? That's how ridiculous I am as a person. Daily Starter tool implementation plan. Let's create some space. A simple beginner-friendly command line tool. So that means we're going to be working inside the terminal. That displays a greeting, today's date, and the current time and when executed. This happened amazingly fast, right? We're going to be using, for your purposes, for your insight and knowledge, we're going to be using Composer 1, which is Cursor's, what's it called? Model. There we go. We're going to be using command line Composer 1, which is Cursor's model, which is really, really fast. So fast, in fact, that I didn't actually even see it create this plan here. So it's got the list of files it's going to create in here. Start.js is the main application file. Package, Node.js project configuration. Don't know what that is yet. README, which gives the instructions and documentation. Claude MD, and git ignore. So there's a lot of information that's pulled out here. And it's got a to-do list of what it's going to create, which is essentially all these files. I know I asked for a greeting, but what will your greetings be? I'm going to ask it. What will your greetings be? Okay, so it's got a bunch of them. So the daily output would be something like, hello, welcome to Daily Starter. Today's date is the date. Today's time is the time. So a couple of things. Let's ask it to format the date in the way I like to see it. So I'm going to say, let's get back to the greetings part in a second, full stop. I'd like to format how the date and time are represented. Please, can you give me some options? How would you like the date formatted? Monday, January the 20th. US long? No. Day and date. Monday, January 15. That's not how anyone does the day and date. Come on. Is that the US long? Is that US? Pretty much sure that lots of countries around the world use that. Let's go for A. I'm just going to say US long for the date. No, in fact, I don't like US long because it says Monday, January 15. No. What is this format? Is this format? Day. This is how I want it. Also the time to be 24-hour clock. Updating the plan with your date format and 24-hour time. Create plan. Received invalid string to replace in plan. Doesn't seem to be that fussed because it's put it here and that's all good. It seems here at least. Now let's go back to the greetings. What are your thoughts of the greetings? Simple and friendly. Hello, welcome to Daily Starter. Time-based. Well, this all sounds quite boring. If I select option A, will it be the same greeting every single day? Yes. I feel we can do better than that, though. Right, so I'm going to see, please write a list of the top 100 film and television greetings. And yeah, there's no need for and. So now what it's doing is doing a lot of work. I'm just going to ask it to stop there. Please, can you just create this list as a format that can be downloaded as a CSV or text file? Okay, so it's created this file, a couple of files. Let's go for txt. Oh, look at this. I'm king of the world. Here's Johnny. I like this. So what I'm going to do is download this as a file and take a note of the name. I'm going to go back to Cursor. I have created a file called please can you find this in my downloads folder and use this as the source for the greetings that I'll get every single day, full stop. Please pull it into the folder structure if you need to, so it's all in one place. Do not refer to the copy that's on the downloads folder. So I'm asking it to go to the downloads folder. Cursor app would like to access files in your downloads folder. Oh, of course, mate. Of course. Found a file, updating the plan to include it in the project structure and use it for greetings. Great. So now the project file is updated. It's got the actual application file, JSON, thingy, README, Claude, Markdown. Here's the greetings file that I just created. Git ignore, yeah, optional but recommended. So let's do it then. Is there anything else you need from me? Ah, great question. How should the greeting be selected each day? Yeah, let's make it random. Thanks for asking. And now it's asking, should the greeting include the movie or TV attribution or just the quotes? So what I'm going to ask it to do is, I'm just going to ask it to give the quotes only, but to see if it will let me guess what the film is from as part of the fun. Please, can you just give me the quotes, but can you prompt me to guess what the film or TV show is that the quote comes from as a fun challenge each time I run this tool. So now, updating the plan to include the interactive guessing challenge. I wasn't planning to do this. I don't know if it will work, but initially it was just print something on the screen, and just by asking it and seeing what I was going to do, initially it sounded a bit boring, so I wanted to get more quotes. Then I thought film and TV quotes, and then it prompted me and said, first of all, how do you want to choose the quotes? Random, makes it more interesting, I guess. I don't know why I haven't memorized the list or the order of the list. Then it asked me how I wanted the quotes to be displayed, including the film and the year or not. And then I thought actually it'd be more interesting to see if we can do it in a way that is a bit more fun each day. So just with that extra bit to the prompt, it's going to be a bit of a fun game every time I use this tool. So I'll ask it again. Is there anything you need from me? I have everything needed. The plan includes the JavaScript, the time format, random greeting from there, interactive thing. The plan is ready to execute. Should I proceed with the implementation? Okay. Now, a big question here is, and one thing I'm trying to get to the bottom of in this episode in particular, let's just do a time check. 22 minutes left. Do I need to switch to agent mode now, or can you build this in plan mode? Full stop. If you can build in plan mode, what's the difference? I can build in plan mode. Here's the difference. Plan mode creates a plan first and gets your approval. Once approved, it executes the plan. Good for complex projects or when you want to review before changes. We're here, plan is approved, ready to execute. Agent mode proceeds directly without planning phase. Better for quick tasks or when you want immediate action, less structured planning up front. Since the plan is approved, I can proceed in plan mode. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, implementing daily starter tool, starting with copying the greetings file and then creating the other files. Accept. So let's copy the greetings file, confirm edit, package.json, accept this. So at the moment, I'm still just letting it, asking it to confirm with me before it goes to the next tool. So next stage. So this is making it a bit slower, obviously, but I'm just kind of trying to work out what it needs. So it's created the Claude Markdown file. I'm just going to switch over to the Finder view, and you can see that in the daily starter, it has created 5 files at the moment. Claude MD's got 0 bytes at the moment, but there's files here, and there weren't files there before. Yes. Planning next moves. It's checking for linting errors. Okay, now it's ready to use. So I need to go to, I'll run it from within the terminal. So that means I'm going to Claude Code here. So I need to change directory to 1hour vibe coder daily starter. So I can either run this command here, which is cd the path to the file, or I can go to terminal. Oh, I'll ask terminal what files it can see. Hey, what files can you see? What? Where are you? You can only see Claude. Where are you? You can only see Claude.md at the moment. I'm in. It says it's in daily starter. There should be many files in there. Be a few files in here. Okay, now it sees the files. You're right. Now I can see. Okay, I don't know why I couldn't just see them before. Right, so it can see all these files. Looks like a Node.js project. Would you like me to read any of these files? No, I don't want you to read it. I just want to type node dot. So what I want to do is to run this little tool, and the way I'm going to run it is to type in node, which is the infrastructure I downloaded yesterday, Node.js, and we talked about it at the top of this course, at the top of this episode, and then the name of the main application file, which is this daily_starter.js. So node daily_.js. And it's asking me for the first time, do you want to run this daily starter script? Yes. Just for safety, I'm just going to type yes. I'm not going to say yes and don't ask again. Let's just go yes. And the quote is Soylent Green is people. But why are you telling me it's telling me the quote? The script ran and displayed a famous quote, Soylent Green is people, from the 1973 film Soylent Green. The script appears to randomly select a greeting from there and display it as a daily prompt. Okay, cool. But I just want to run it without you telling me what it's about. Live long and prosper. Can you tell? Can you guess which film or TV show this is from? I know this. Live long and prosper. Star Trek. Something. Correct. Okay, this is cool, but you haven't given me the date or time, which is what I've asked you to do. So I'm going to say, this seems to work in that it gives a quote from film or TV. However, it doesn't display the date or the time, which is a core part of its functionality that I want. Okay? So it's saying it should work now, so I'm going to run the same code again. It's going to ask me if I want to run it. I'll do yes. Here's looking at you, kid. So this is the output, but there's no date or time. So I'm using Cursor here now to try and debug its own code. So no date and time as required. So the script may be exiting before displaying the date and time reviewing. So it's reviewing the code. The code looks correct, testing it interactively to verify the flow, ensuring output is flushed, and the script completes properly. Let's do a quick time check. 12 minutes left. Are you okay? I would have thought it'd sort it out by now. So I asked it again. Okay, now it seems to be running something. Testing the script now. The script works fine and displays date and time. Okay, I'm going to run it again. There's no place like home. That is the Wizard of Oz. Correct. But it's not displaying here. Interesting. So if I go to terminal, elsewhere though, this is where I want to go to. So tell terminal to go to the directory. So now it's inside daily starter. So I'll try it here in this one. And then type in Node.js. What are you talking about, Willis? That is, I know exactly who says it, but I don't know the film or TV thing. So I'm going to put Home Alone. I know it's not that. Is it Family Ties? Great guess. The answer is Different Strokes. There we go. And then it puts today's date. So I like it. So it works here, but it doesn't work within terminal in Claude Code. So, okay, so it works as it should do here, which is lovely. Got a little doohickey and it works in the terminal, but it doesn't work in Claude Code. Nice. Yeah, by the way, today's date, Monday the 24th of November. Current time, past my bedtime. Okay, so I'm just going to see if I can debug it in the last 8 minutes. Okay, it works within a separate terminal environment, full stop. When I try and run it within terminal in Claude Code, it doesn't work properly. Why is this? So it's updated the code to close the readline interface before displaying the date and time. So try running it in Claude Code's terminal. Click on yes. What you're talking about, well, this has picked up the same code, different strokes, I'll say. I'm typing it incorrect on purpose to see if it goes, oh yeah, I'll let you off. It just says correct, but still no date and time. Still no date and time. This is the output. I think this is pasting the code there. Okay. Run it in regular terminal, works there. Display the date and time earlier. Okay, let's try option 2. If you want option 2, I can move the date and time display to appear right after the quote. Otherwise, this may be a limitation of how Claude Code's integrated terminals handles readline output. So I'm going to try, okay, do option 2. Oh, I'll just try it and see what happens. But it's saying that Claude Code might be a bit crappy. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. That's not a greeting. That's a send-off. But the answer is Chinatown, of course. Correct. Still not showing. Okay, still not showing. Please do option 2. Oh, I had to make it way more complicated, didn't I? But hey, look, this is how we learn. And it's just making all these changes for me. I'm not doing anything here. This is so sweet. Let's try again. Control O to expand. Oh, okay. Here we go. We rob banks. The output now includes the date and time. The quote is "We rob banks," which is likely from the movie Bonnie and Clyde. Why are you telling me the answer? Correct. So maybe I just simply was missing something. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so we've got a nice workable solution here. I'm just going to do it, start it again. Click yes. Here's a quote, "May the force be with you." And it's truncated date and time for some reason. Maybe if I just move the terminal up, does it help? Nope. So this is something we need to be aware, and this is why I like doing this course. This is why I'm doing this course, so I can find out these things and these little foibles. Anyway, Star Wars, correct. Fabulous. Okay, guys, thank you so much. So what I've done here is I've created my first little mini tool called Daily Starter, and initially it was going to be ultra super simple, which is going to print a greeting. But then I thought the greeting would be a bit boring, and today's date and the current time. I also formatted what the date and current time would be to make it, more like how I'd like it to be out. And then I had a little feature, so it prints out the film quote, and then it's a little guessing game a quiz to make it interesting and exciting. So that's a lot more than I thought I was going to do. I like the outputs. Let's see what we're going to do tomorrow. Thanks for sticking with me. Cheers, guys. Oh, so I should say the time is 8 seconds. I'm going to finish there. Bye.